And we are live. Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. I am this week's host, Henry Wind. You can find me on Twitter at Henry Wind. I'll start off this week by saying it, just like I say every single week, every week that we've ever recorded ever, and certainly not saying it last week. But it's a great week to be a Manchester United fan, fellas. I know that not everyone in the group can celebrate 3 points, but some of us can. Some of us in the group can celebrate 3 points. We know what it's like. And I'm excited to hear about those games. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Griff, first things first, welcome to the pod. How are you doing today, man? Check in.
I'm doing great. It's great to be here. Thank you, my friends, for the invitation back. And I would just like to retort by saying next Monday you'll be saying a little something different when the intros come around. That's all. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a massive game coming up this weekend, and we'll get into that. But super stoked to have you on, Griff. It's always a pleasure to have you. Andy Hoover, how are you doing, man? I feel like you're riding a high over the last couple of weeks, and I'm here for it.
The roller coaster that we rode last year is now a freaking rocket ship, boys. So, shoot for the moon, land amongst the stars. I'm doing great. Another 3 points. Life is good. St. Louis City took a tough loss. I had the pleasure of watching on my phone after plenty of sodas on the lake. But it did a great job analyzing, promise. So excited to get into that.
Promise.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the captain that is Ange Postecoglou. What a guy that he is proving to be. Lucas Winkleman.
Solid pronunciation, Hen.
Thank you. And for what it's worth, that's the first. I swear to you, that's the first time I've said it out loud. I was just like thinking of Hoover saying it for the last 3 weeks. I've never said it. Postecoglou. Hopefully that's right. Lucas Winkleman, what's up, dog? Welcome back,
up, gentlemen. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I feel like we all had a pretty busy weekend, and a lot happened in the Prem this weekend. I know that we were talking about doing a little gambling ourselves and put together a nice little parlay of all of our teams. And I think Dobes might have mentioned it in the group chat, but this was the closest we've come to all of our teams winning their game in the same weekend. Unfortunate that we had to be the ones to botch that, but one a point is a point. Chill out. I'm stoked to be here though. A lot of cool games, good games to dive into. So
good. Happy to have you. And 1 point is 1 point, and 3 points feels better. Speaking of 3 points, Nick, how you doing, bro?
Yeah. Haven't had a 3 points in a while, so I'm kind of on a high right now. But yeah, like Wink said, the games this weekend were really good. I enjoyed watching Chelsea. St. Louis City game, wish we could have came with 3 points from them, but happy to dive in with you boys.
Well, Nick, we're actually just going to stick with you, bro. Let's dive into the weekend. Chelsea started us off on Friday, going up against Luton, which it was a home game for you all. I don't know if it was supposed to be an away game. It's just Luton Stadium's not ready yet. But home game for you, came away with 3 points. How'd you feel during the game? What are your thoughts about it?
Obviously it's Luton, so my expectations of the 3 points were definitely there. And if we didn't get it, I was going to be very upset about it. So I'm happy we were able to get those 3 points. I've dogged him for a while, but Raheem Sterling looked
the dream, baby.
The dream.
He had sparks of brilliance and got us 2 goals and an assist. I also thought Nico Jackson getting his first goal for us is huge. I think that's just a huge confidence
huge for my fantasy team.
Yep. I just one more. The only thing that keeps bugging me is Conor Gallagher. I'll continue to say it. If he continues to get into the starting lineup, it's going to continue to upset me. So yeah, but besides that, I thought Caicedo played. He played okay. He's still kind of growing into the position, but I think his presence. I said it last week, allows Enzo to be so much more free, and I love watching Enzo play right now. I think he's playing very well. But yeah, we got 3 points. Haven't felt it in a while, so very happy to be a Chelsea fan right now.
I mean, it was kind of insane. Like Caicedo playing that number 6 role. Fernandez was playing basically like a left midfielder, left winger, just kind of floating wherever he wanted to go, and it was great to watch. I mean, it was so fun to see. But I mean, I'm surprised you didn't bring it up, but Gusto, bro, coming in with 2 assists, like, starting, I think that was his first like full start. Maybe it was his second, but he played great.
Second. Yeah. And to be fair, I was a little shaky on him in preseason. But yes, I completely agree. He had a great performance. I also I mentioned it before the game. Our bench was a bunch of high schoolers. I felt like
Yeah.
so young. We didn't have Mudryk on the bench either, which I've then then found out he was injured. But to be fair, I was expecting to see him in the starting lineup before game, before knowing he was injured. I was thinking it was going to be Jackson and him. So seeing Sterling was obviously why I went to the bench looking at our lineup, and I was like, oh my gosh, we have a bunch of high schoolers. But I thought that was pretty cool. Some of them got to come in and see game time, and I think it just goes back to what we've been talking about for a long time. We have a very young squad that I think is going to grow very well as the years come.
Dude, my thing about Sterling is that he was great, and there's no way around it. But even when he messes up, just has a scuffed shot or something, it looks so funny. It's always so clippable and rewatchable as just being human. He's just an awkward dude.
His bads are bad, and his greats are great.
And he was slick. He was dynamic for sure. But I've grown so accustomed to watching him fuck up repeatedly over and over that when he did a couple times, it was like, oh, it's still in there. He still got it. But he balled.
I've never been a Sterling fan, but I can't deny that he was electric at moments
against Luton for sure.
I agree. It's against Luton. Once again, that's how I started the whole thing off.
I know. Worth mentioning.
Take the points as they come.
Yeah, you'll take
them. 3 in a long time.
3 points.
Yeah, and I think from the outside looking in, I think the biggest takeaway, other than 3 points for Chelsea, is that you went through a game without an injury. And I feel like that's also been a rarity over the last couple of weeks. It's little injuries here and there, or it's big injuries, but you guys made it through this one. You made it through a full 90 without an injury. So that has to bode well for you going into this upcoming weekend.
Absolutely, yeah. Seeing our injury list, I think you guys were annoyed by me saying it last year, and I'm already about to start saying it again, but our injury list is very long, so that's never fun. I could be taking a hot take here, but maybe we should, Chelsea as a club, start taking a look into our training staff, because we've had a lot of injuries, and as a person who played soccer at a high level, I know how important the training staff is, so
yeah.
I don't know. Something's going on over there that we're not able to keep players on the field.
Yeah, not good.
I want to feel bad for you, but I always look back at how much you spent. I'm like, I don't feel that bad.
Yeah, how do you spend $1 billion and have high schoolers?
Yeah.
You guys all spent the same amount of money this transfer.
I mean, just false.
Dude, shut up. That's terrible.
If we all round up by a couple $100 million, it does just about.
Yeah.
You're taking 3 transfers and combining them into one and saying a bill every time.
I'm curious.
As close is crazy.
Everyone's thoughts on this. This does not just have to be pointed at Nick, but Romelu Lukaku today officially, went on loan to Roma for $6 million. That's his, third or fourth club in the last 3 or 4 years. And mind you, I think Lukaku and Morata are the 2 players with the highest transfer sum ever. Lukaku's moved for 70 million, 80 million, 90 million, and then now he's going out on loan. But what's it do you all really think Lukaku's that bad, or is he just turned into a meme that it's just going to follow him wherever he goes? Or what's the deal with him?
Once he said that about Chelsea, he was never going to come back. I don't think it was ever going to happen once he did that interview. So I think that's why with us, I think that's probably reasons why he's left many clubs in the past. I don't know what those personal things happened, but with us, I know once he had that interview and it happened, I knew there was no way he was coming back to Chelsea.
Can I kind of say that I don't really care?
Yeah.
Every time he just does this, it just happens all the time, and he just repeatedly does it at every club he goes to, and I just couldn't care less. Yeah. He's going to score a couple goals under Jose because that probably suits him pretty well in terms of a play style. But I'm not going to watch and be like, he's balling again. No,
Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Circus,
lead with that as
dude.
well, Hoove, and then be like, I was gonna say, of all the guys that we've seen go to Saudi that were disappointed that they went, he's one of those guys that like
Perfect.
when he was
Yeah.
good, like when he was good, he was a really fun guy to watch, like receive the ball with his back to the net, turn and shoot. But after all of this, I'm just ready for him to like take one last big money move to Saudi, and then us not have to talk about him anymore.
Yeah, like fade into the oblivion, like never to hear from him ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Roma might be a wagon this year. They might be really fun to watch. They've picked up some good guys.
But since we're talking about Chelsea transfer like stuff, can we talk about the Cucurella transfer rumors to
we can talk
United?
about it. We can talk about it.
Wow,
Sure.
that's really interesting, and I wanted to get your take on
That'd be good business.
how you
Hey,
feel about
to
that.
be fair, they've been connected to everyone under the sun, including
They have.
Serge Reguilon, including
Marcus
throwing
Alonso.
that out there.
Yeah.
Marcus
Oh
Alonso.
my God.
Dude. So, I mean, obviously, the United transfer saga is always there. It's always going to be there. It's like the biggest club in the world. So whether it's like the players themselves are trying to like force a move so they express like interest in United, or it's the agents trying to like draw value, or it's the club, whatever it may be. United gets dragged into things all the time. But I'm so Dubs. This is such a perfect time for you to join. We're talking. Nick just introduced what are our thoughts on the potential of the Cucurella loan to United. So what I'm saying is, when I woke up, I think it was yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, and I saw that the 3 players that we were linked with for the injured Luke Shaw were Marcus Alonso, Serge Reguilon, and Marc Cucurella. I would have taken a bullet to the head before I chose any of those 3 guys. And like I've literally been on this podcast before, absolutely shitting on all 3 of those players at different times for different reasons. I don't like it one bit. And I genuinely, like, I don't even know if I like had to choose a necessary evil, which one would I choose? I can't. I don't want any of them anywhere near the club. It's so bad. Now, Fabrizio came out this morning and said that there is a 4th left back that United are very keen on, but they haven't released the name, and they don't want to release the name. So for all intents and purposes, it could be some random person that we've never heard of, or it could be someone big and they're just keeping it hush hush. I have no fucking clue what it's going to be. All 3 of those guys, dude, could be. All 3 of those guys in United shirt would just be like, retirement FC. That's just who it is when it comes to the transfer window.
Reguilon's like 26, to be totally fair, but
but I mean,
bring Cucurella for Sunday. Bring Cucurella. Let him start Sunday. Let's see how it works.
Before we get Dobes' take, I think we need to set the scene for our listeners of where Dobes is right now and why he is there, because I think it is hilarious. And so yeah, Dobes, where are you at?
Check in, baby.
First off, fellas, sorry I'm late. Have other priorities tonight. Assistant coach, high school soccer. They're currently warming up right now. There's about 25 minutes left on the clock. I'm currently sitting in my car. I got sent off in the last. Off in the last game of last year. We don't need to talk about why. We don't need to talk about how. We don't need to talk about where. So I got to sit this one out. But the positive is, I know the Mecca fans. I've been getting messages after messages being like, "Don't skip on Monday. Don't skip." So I'm here. I decided to show up just for you guys and just for the fans. So it's good to see you fellas.
Hey, your mom, I know she's a fan, but you can't count her in this one.
It's probably true, but she was like, "What are you going to do, the pod or the game?" I was like, "Mom, the game." And I was like, "Never mind, probably the pod. I can't go to the game."
Can't do it. So what are your thoughts, Dobes? Talk to us about the Cucurella, the left back situation at United.
I mean, Hen and I have been texting all day. I can kind of only piggyback off everything he said, where you see those 3 names and it's kind of like what the fuck's going on? Truthfully, I think out of the 3, I think I would probably, it sounds crazy, but I texted Hen today. I think I'd take Alonso on a loan. And I think the reason being is just he's experienced. He can keep the ball better than the other 2. I've seen all these highlights of Cucurella the past couple of days, and all the captions have been like, Rashford will never get the ball. because every single time he touches the ball, he goes backwards. But I will spin zone it definitely if we do sign Cucurella. Pep Guardiola was recruiting Cucurella at one time, so there must be some sort of player there.
We know what you did. We know what you did, Marcos Alonso. We know what you did.
Dude, I'm saying, I'm like, after all this shit, like with Mason Greenwood, we turn around and recruit Marcos Alonso. What are we doing, bro?
Classic Glazers.
I don't know. We're a shit show.
It's not good.
But all it took was a red card and a PK for you guys to win this week at home. So
yeah, well, fuck it. Let's dive into United. I mean, normally we have to wait, and you guys like have to tell us to stop talking about United. But now you guys are bringing us up in your own time of talking about your teams. We're a massive club, but we came away with a 3-2 victory over Nottingham Forest after an absolutely torrential start, 2 goals down in the first 4 minutes of the game. And to set the scene a little bit for you all, I was watching the whole game. I watched it from start to finish. And the first half, I was losing my shit. Obviously, we were not playing well. We gave up 2 goals in the beginning. And Connorson Dobry, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, he had practice. Didn't watch the first half at all. So he comes in, not stressing whatsoever, and feels that he could text me saying, "Hey, don't even worry about it. We'll pull it back. It's all good." Meanwhile, I'm losing my mind.
No problem.
And we turn around. Yeah, we turn around a 3-2 victory. So, Dope, speak to the comeback and what you saw.
I think we have a ton of worries right now, just in terms of conceding goals. I've been listening to a lot of just breakdown of the tactics, and playing with.
So goal.
No, play. I mean, he's clueless sometimes, but playing with Onana, like last year when the season ended, our back four, every single time there was a tackle, every single time that there was like any big play, like they were together, they were yelling at each other, they were screaming, they were chest bumping. And like we haven't had that yet this year, and so defensive woes are like a massive concern going forward. Ben's right. I didn't see the first 2 goals. But when I came and I started watching the game, it was towards the end of halftime. And I looked at the possession, and literally it took, I think, maybe 5 minutes of me watching in the second half to think we were coming back in that game. Because once I saw the possession we had, the way that we were going forward, I was confident we were going to score a couple goals. So I'm happy we took away the points. And you can definitely see, I think the big call, as we've been saying the last couple episodes, is Rashford playing off the left is a different animal. He was involved in all 3 goals. That's one of those things where that right there just shows that he cannot go back to the middle, because he was a difference maker. You guys will hate on it. From what I saw, I actually thought Anthony had a fairly good game. He went right a couple times, which literally that in itself is a win. So yeah, I mean plus 3 onto a big week this weekend.
Matt Turner had a huge save on.
Yeah, it was gross.
That was insane. He played again. Yeah. He played really well, dude. He's
good with his feet too, man. It's his feet are underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, same thing as like you brought it up during the World Cup last year, is that every time the ball goes back to Turner, you like hold your breath a little bit because he looks so shaky, but he does well. You brought up a good point with the defensive rockiness. The one thing that's a little bit hard for me to wrap my head around with the defense right now for United is like, it looks like there's just a lot of opportunities for us to go and win the ball, and we choose not to defensively. So the second goal, the ball kind of like went in on a header, and you had both Martinez and I don't even remember who the second defender was that was
Casemiro.
Right there, just literally chose not to go to the ball. Yeah, like, and we've all played the game. We all know what it's like to have a 50-50 ball where like someone goes into it, someone doesn't, and obviously the person that doesn't go into it isn't going to win it. So it's like that right off the bat twice, and for 1 goal to already go in and you choose not to do that a minute and a half later is a little bit shocking to me. That's not going to fly against Arsenal at the weekend. Like, we did also get bailed out the fact that we played Nottingham Forest, and on paper we should win that game. We're a better team. Against Arsenal, that is going to be tough. Arsenal also can't close out games where it looks like we get better as we go through the game, so that's good to see. But that's not going to fly. If we go out and let up 2 goals in the first 5 minutes against Arsenal, I think we'll be fucked. So there is a little bit of worry in there. Casemiro played better, he still looks really leggy. Like he was sliding to some tackles, looking like he was trying to draw a yellow card on the counter, and he just missed, like flat out just missed. And, maybe that's intentional, maybe it's not, but I don't know. I think so far this season, we've gotten away with a couple of games. This weekend will be a really big test for us. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Yeah, I'd say. Don't really know which way
that Rashford penalty. The Rashford penalty was a penalty, but it was close. I don't think it gets turned over if it doesn't get called. It's one of those for sure.
I got a bone to pick with this penalty shit, because nobody sits there and talks about the Schlobozlai, like full on feet flying in the air penalty, but then it's the week before Arsenal, and all of a sudden every pundit all over the world, every former ex-Arsenal player is saying how it was a dive and never should have been called. It's almost like the Wolves game where like people complain enough, and then the Romero one doesn't get called. Now people are complaining enough to hoping that we don't get a call this weekend. So it all like makes sense for what's going on right now, and I'm fucking sick of it.
The pundits are doing backroom recruiting,
but that was a pen. He literally, like, you could see him make a like decision and be like, I shouldn't go in, but he like just leaves in enough, and Rashford uses it. And that's a pen, man.
I didn't argue that it wasn't. Yeah. I didn't argue that it wasn't. It was knee to knee.
Sure.
It was close and kind of weak.
Yeah,
I'm more so talking about the like after the fact talking about it. That like the Schlobozlai is the worst call I've ever seen, and it was mentioned 0 times ever. And then the Rashford one, it's
really solid.
The Rashford, I actually think I nailed that. The Rashford, the one that's an actual pen. People are fucking all over the internet saying that he wasn't even touched.
It's unbelievable. The agenda, fellas, the agenda.
Oh my god.
Tottenham won again.
Speaking of the agenda.
Who?
What do you want? What do you want to
hear?
How
you feeling, bro? Dude, let's hear about it. It's a 2-0.
It was 2-0 at Bournemouth. On paper, you want to win that every time, but didn't last in the reverse fixture last year with whatever was left of Antonio Conte. So that was good. It was, dude, it's just, you're seeing it, right? Like, it's starting to build. They're starting to put it together. Everyone has a role, and they play it really well. It's a rocket ship, and everyone's involved. We're Roadman FC minus Richarlison, but everyone else is an absolute dog, absolute wagon. Basuma, what do you have? Another 87% passing, 3 out of 4 dribbles.
He's got stats, bro.
6 recoveries, 3 interceptions, 4 passes into the final third. He was class. The first goal was Basuma to Sarr to Matters. It was like silky smooth, straight through the middle, and that is like everything you've ever wanted out of your midfield 3. Like that, we haven't, until Kulusevski scored the second goal, we still have yet to have a forward score a goal. Like that's super impressive. We're replacing Harry Kane's goals with style, dare I say it? I don't know. There's a little bit of swagger in the way that they're playing.
Your midfield 3 is very nice and in form right now.
Yeah.
And we don't.
Huge signing.
Dude, Sarr and Matters and Basuma have been great, and we've got the fucking blue eyes black dragon waiting in the wings to come back in. Bentancur is a dog. We're forgetting this.
I thought you were talking about Højbjerg.
Oh, he's still there. That's okay. I actually looked at the reverse fixture and was comparing some stats. And when we lost to Bournemouth last year, Højbjerg was the best midfielder and had one of the highest FOTMOB scores. He had like 18 passes into the final third. It was random, but I was kind of recognizing that it hinged on him through the middle because we had nobody else to really play with him. And it was all just him finding Harry Kane. It was either that or finding Son, who was finding Harry Kane. Like, there was no technical balance. Like, you have a certain style and system you want to play with Conte, and you play it. And you don't deviate from that system. Ange has literally come on record, been like, I tell Pedro Porro to go wherever the hell he wants. Like, find some good spaces, make some good runs. If you see a space, make sure someone's covering and just take it. Destiny Udogie might be the signing of the year. He's 20 years old. He's an absolute baller. He's playing a 6, a modified left side 6, basically, when we have possession. I can't say enough good things about it right now, and I'm still not even really worried about Richie, even though I'm a little worried about Richie.
Did you look at the FOP mob? Did you look at the FOP mob?
I was getting ready to say that, Winks. I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah.
Literally, everybody on your team is above like a 7.2, and then you just like scroll up to the top, and it's fucking Richie at a 4.9, and
6.3.
I must have been looking at something different.
No, I saw 4.9.
Everybody else,
I saw the 4.9.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it was. There was one of those.
Do you see it on TikTok too?
He deserved a 4.9.
Hey,
Yeah,
Richie only becomes a problem if the team isn't scoring.
True.
If
for
the team is winning and you're getting goals everywhere, you can always chalk it up to like he plays his role, he's making the runs, he's drawing defenders, whatever you want to say.
And he is.
Well, Timo's a different story. Timo's ass, and everyone.
Richie scored a bike World Cup for Brazil. Don't forget that.
Dude, he's going to be like, the players that make it off of one goal of their career. But, I texted Hoove earlier in the week, dude. If you all, listeners included, if you all haven't listened to like Postecoglou's like post-match
he's the man.
interviews or like pre-match interviews, dude, I love the guy. Like there was one in particular that he was talking about, like, basically saying that, everyone's looping him into being like this new up and coming manager. But he's like, I'm 57. I've been there. I've done that. I've never been to the Premier League. Yes, I know. But like, I've coached everywhere in the world. Like, I don't understand what the infatuation is that I'm this like new guy on the block. Sure. If I see things a different way than maybe the previous manager, cool. But like, I'm old. I've done this before. And I just love that. Like just coming right out and saying it. Yeah, he's such a great figure for the Premier League. I hope that, he gets his shot with this team, and it's not like another situation where like Levy blocks his transfers and does all of that. Bro. Yeah, dude.
He's like the most likable Tottenham manager in the last
100%.
Like
100.
It's not even
no
close.
question.
Like, I can't even
Tim
hate the guy.
Sherwood.
Tim Sherwood.
Yeah, like
Tim Sherwood sucked. Dude, Andre Villas-Boas guy fucking sucked, bro. Like, don't. Yeah.
And I think it's like nice that he's also Australian. I think that just like raises it a couple levels. You're like, yeah, he's fun to listen to. Whatever, sure.
Yeah, he's got such a good personality. It's so much more fun with that accent.
Who've no banter aside, because I've seen this, but like all over Twitter. Like, do you think there's any relative truth to like? It could just be Ange. Obviously, Kane didn't get to play under him, but like the non-reliance of Harry Kane allows everybody to play a little bit more free. Like, do you think there's some truth, truth to that? Like, play a little better because he's not there.
It's like this is probably the single worst soccer reference ever, but kicking and screaming. Hear me out. They had to stop passing to the Italians. Like, to a certain degree, these guys have had to figure it out for sure how to do it without him. Like, there's some good life lessons to be learned in there. But I think Big Ange, if Conte was still at the club, we'd be in shambles. Like, or if any of those defensive or kind of egotistical managers were there, we'd be in absolute shambles. So this is all looking like a really positive appointment. Yes, he's not tested, but kind of like you said, like he's had really solid success everywhere he's been, albeit Japan, Ireland, Australia. Like, that's only,
the big three.
Takes so much from that. The big three, exactly.
Classic.
North Korea and Iran as well.
Yeah, but like he's got a history of pulling players from each of those clubs to the clubs that he goes to. He's got a track record of some development with youth, like. There's a lot of really positive things to look at. And he's just fucking normal. Like, I'm tired of watching Conte and Mourinho and whoever up there just being like, they don't play the football. They don't play the football that I want them to play. It's the manager, it's the club's problem. Like, this guy's just like, yeah, I'll fuck try it, mate. You know what I mean? Like, he's just got this go-lucky Australian attitude.
That's where
everything.
Tottenham's at this year, and it's working for him. Just fuck
exactly.
it. Try
what
it.
if we had to lose?
Yeah.
There's been nothing to lose.
That should have happened years ago.
Like, you guys actually did well in the transfer window, which I think Levy
It's-
in maybe.
I know. Well,
Levy in,
on that.
bro.
We've seen-
Yeah,
Let me
I
in.
say you guys keep him for sure.
Moral of the story, Levy in.
I've watched 3 good performances and 7 points, and we're like, fuck it, keep that Daniel guy. He's done great. No, it's just such a bresh of bresh.
You're doing good.
We can cut that out. Don't worry
Bro,
about it.
just
You got the
you
gist.
got to talk in the accent permanently.
Like, every time he says mate, I lays it.
I lays it. Well, I agree that you would have been in a shambolic place if Conte was still here, which leads us to our next team to talk about, the shambolic Arsenal Football Club. Griff, you are this week's guest, a returning guest, so I'm going to let you start on this one of what the hell happened to the fortress that is the Emirates.
Shambolic is super harsh, Hen.
Yeah, I think it was a shambolic performance,
I mean,
bro.
You start off like I had the Man U game on my phone and then the Arsenal game, and like we're both down in the middle of the first 3 minutes. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Backwards.
Yeah,
Arsenal,
it's actually hilarious. Literally 10 minutes before the game, I was like, United
I'm
Arsenal
sure
money
you
line
guys
parlay.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck.
sitting on their beds. But I may be forgetting one. Besides the Traore at the very end, we're pushing for the winner. They didn't create a single chance of their own. Like, we gave them a goal, which we've done. Like, the one concerning thing I will say is, like, we've done that a few times, conceded early goals and had to fight back, and it just makes it so much harder because then they sit in. We have to sit behind a low block and try to get through, and it makes it tough. But I thought we played well. It's so interesting. I think we really missed Zinchenko or Timber and Verdi from the left side. I think for us, that's a big deal. I think that's why Gabriel's out, and that's why Party's playing right back. I think because what you'll see is I think once Zinchenko comes back, Gabriel plays again. We have our back four we actually want, and then Rice can do what he needs in the midfield. I think we become a better team. And it was interesting too. I'm curious what Weeks thinks. Like Trossard starting was interesting, and Nketiah has been great. Like I think you have to start Nketiah on Sunday, and I'm with Winks as well. We talked about this earlier. It's like Kai has to sit. I'm not like anti Kai Havertz. I think he's better at center forward. I think he's filling a role now, but I think he's got to be a sub, man. He played well against City, so for all the laughs, he played well against City, played his role, but he's not an 8. And if maybe it takes a few games and he will become an 8, and we're all going to eat our words, but right now he's not an 8. Otherwise, we played well. We created a bunch of chances. Fabio Vieira looked incredible. We've been saying it. Just give him time. He looked incredible coming on, man. Got the pen, got the assist to Eddie. So hopefully he plays more roles in the future, but I'll leave it to Wings to say anything else.
I'm hopping in really quick. Nick's over there got a smirk like he's Q from MI5 and James Bond sending out 2 double agents out here. It's insane.
Mountain Havertz, double agents.
Double agents.
007,
Jorginho.
double agents. Jorginho's been good. What?
For real?
Oh, great,
is the issue with Vieira that he plays too similarly to Odegaard? Is that why they don't play together?
I think so. I think that's where he'd play if he came in, because whenever Odegaard doesn't start, it's usually Vieira.
And I also
they like a similar style.
And that's Kai's best spot.
That's what I was just about to say.
People who are.
But I feel like at this point, after
only
watching,
70
I know
million.
it's only been 3 games. Yeah, but like after
You're
the
you're right,
first
Dobes.
3 games,
He's hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt.
Our 70 million's hurt, bro. We can't do
Give him
anything about
time.
that. He's hurt. Don't kick him while he's down.
Come in and ride the bench.
Give him time, bro.
Don't kick him while
Better
he's
that he's
down.
hurt. You're bragging that your $70 million signing is hurt. That's the
No,
process
but-
you guys are pulling out
But
of that.
for real, like I feel like at this
You know,
point
it's
with
water.
Havertz, 3 games into the season, it doesn't work. Like that midfield 3 does not work. What's the harm in like sitting Kai for at least a game, maybe 2 games, and let Vieira come in and see if that midfield 3 works? You're not going to take out Rice. You're not going to take out Odegaard.
No.
And I agree that the rotation can happen whenever Odegaard does need a rest with the different competitions. But like, why not try?
Bro,
So
midfield.
Party's the key to everything,
He's
man.
totally experimenting.
yes,
Game.
and so
Yeah.
I will say for me, so Zinchenko came on in the second half.
Yeah.
And he played the game before.
56.
And he came on in the second half of the game before as well. So he's got to be really close to being match fit. And so if he does, we need to put him on the left, Tomiyasu on the right, and then have that. So one thing that I'm not sold on yet is this 3-2-2-3 formation that we've been playing lately. I'm not sold on it because of who we put in the midfield 4, and I don't think a midfield 4 suits us. 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it. I like the 4-3-3 and then having Zinchenko as that inverted fullback, but we need to have Thomas Partey, Rice, and Odegaard in the middle. I think that's going to be the key that unlocks all of it. But like Nate said earlier, we've got to have Zinchenko or Timber in there to be able to move forward with the midfield and play in front of Thomas Partey. I think that without that, it just limits us so much, and then we're forced to play 2 players, Kai and Odegaard, that play similarly in the same role right next to each other on the field, and neither player has as much room to roam free as they would as if there was only one of them. We know that Rice is going to be box to box and come all the way to the defending 6-yard box or back to our own.
He's been great.
He's been insane.
He's been great so far. Yeah.
And Thomas Partey is going to be that link up play between the back line and the midfield. But yes, I agree, Nate. Like we have to have Kai come off the bench, and $70 million or not, that's what he needs to do.
And I think it sucks because Martinelli's the one that's getting hurt by all this. He's got no one to link up with, and you've seen it in the last 2 games. He hasn't been himself, but Kai and him don't have the chemistry that maybe Granit Xhaka and him had, and it sucks seeing Granit Xhaka score a goal in the weekend too. And
a worldie,
a worldie. Maybe we let him go a little too soon, But I think it all comes down to like Arteta has all these players now. We finally have the depth we've always been talking about. We needed depth last year; it screwed us, and now you have to let your manager, who you trust by now, experiment with who he's putting where. We're gonna play a bunch of games.
That's a long season.
We have a few injuries, so I think we should have won. Like they scored a scrappy goal in the corner. It was kind of like what Hen said with Man U. Like 2 guys kind of went for it and missed it. The one guy pops up, taps it in. Like I'm really not like stressing over that result. Like you want that win, but
if you watch the game or even look at any of the stats, like we dominated all of the important stuff. I'm not worried either.
Yeah, that was gross.
It was a great finish, but shouldn't have even gotten to that point.
No, I did just watch the highlights before this, to be totally fair, and I want to say it was your man Declan Rice who slipped his assignment. So, I don't know. I just watched.
I think with Arsenal,
he's no Basuma.
I think with Arsenal, it's weird, like because we talked last year how it took Haaland, even though he was scoring the goals, like we saw City not get to their best until like after the World Cup, I think is when they really hit their stride. And like looking at the weekend, it's like I don't really know what to expect from United or from Arsenal, to be fair. After watching 3 games, it's like I've seen Arsenal be great, but then at times they do have those lapses where they don't look great. I've seen United at times be great going forward, but we have these huge defensive lapses. So I think it's 2 teams that are very much just trying to integrate new pieces. It's like on their day right now, I think Arsenal wins, but at the same time, like I would not be surprised at all if like Rashford scores on a counter, we hunker in, we get a result, because both of these 2 teams, I think, are at that stage. We're still figuring it out. But the thing with the Prem is you don't have a long time to figure it out. Like if you want to compete with City, City could win this league by December if teams don't stay with them.
I think the key to the game on Sunday is Partey can't play right back against Rashford.
They'll get cooked.
Rashford. If we can control Rashford, you guys are neutralized. I hate to say it.
So would you put Ben White out there?
I like Ben White against Rashford.
Rashford also likes Ben White against Rashford.
Yeah, at least Ben White.
There's one highlight from 3 years ago. You play Ben White at right back, and you don't let Rashford beat you, and I think we win that game.
I don't know, bro. I talked to Daenerys, and a Targaryen will be ready to just unleash.
His back injury is still inflamed, bro. His back's still inflamed. He'll be all right.
I will lose my absolute shit if Højlund starts and bags 3. I can't imagine it'll happen. There's no shot. But can you imagine?
You don't even know who it was 2 months ago.
He only had 10 last year.
Yeah, bro, he did, didn't he? Didn't he? Yeah.
He's bagging goals.
He might score 5. We don't know. It might be a crazy
We
game.
just don't know, fellas. We just don't know.
Dare I
Anthony's
say
good for
7?
his 1 goal. Yeah, Anthony got his 1 goal against us, and I'll have to eat my words. That's like the last season. The 1 goal he scores all season.
I will say today is the anniversary. Today is the anniversary of 8-2.
Yeah, I saw
of
it
8-2.
too. There it is.
United beat Arsenal 8-2.
12 years? God, these two
You guys
love
lost
to talk about the
last
past.
season. 7-0.
That's the last time they won it.
What's that
less than a year
one
ago.
clip? They've got that one clip in that early Ted Lasso thing where they show him the different teams and he tries to like think of who they are, like relate them to football teams. And they're like, Man United used to be really good, haven't won anything in a long time. You're like Dallas Cowboys.
That's also Hen's favorite football team.
That's a tough comparison.
Bro, what was Spurs? That was Spurs like the Cleveland Browns, like.
Bro, he was the coach of them. He was the coach of Spurs. He said, "Who's that man right there?" He's like, "Oh, that's Gareth Bale." He's like, "What country's he from?" Wales. He's like, "Is that another country?" He's like, "Yes and no." He's like, "Is it in this country?" Yes.
Now, gentlemen, the game of the weekend happened yesterday, or on paper it was the game of the weekend. Maybe you all think that it was as well. Liverpool played Newcastle, and I only say that it's the game of the weekend because it's going to have major implications for the top 4 race. Liverpool won 2-1 to my surprise. I did think that Newcastle was going to absolutely pump them, and it didn't happen. We watched the game. We have thoughts on the game. Who wants to kick us off?
This would be so much different with Butch here. When do you guys go? I don't even need to.
Yeah. I'll put on my Liverpool hat, man. I actually
got that handy.
I didn't know that you had one of those, bro. Yeah, really available. I don't think I've ever shot for one of those, fella.
I just don't want City to win. Okay, Liverpool, they looked scared, I dare say, in the beginning, and they gave up that goal and then the red card, which, again, we can talk about it. The only thing I will say, one little point. Trent should have been sent off. Same thing happened to Tomiyasu. Should have been sent off. That one's, although I hate his first yellow for him like tossing the ball 2 yards. We got to stop that, man. I know they're doing that more. That made me angry just to watch get a yellow for that. We've been doing that since we were kids, man. But Darwin looked incredible. They came back at the feared St. James Park. I don't know, man. Liverpool might be turning the lead.
I think
that's my Butchie spin.
I think that Trent was very lucky to not get sent off. I agree with you on that first one. Like, I understand if you kick the ball like a long ways away. I think that you should crack down on that. Like, he literally tossed it a couple feet to the right. Like, it was also 1 minute into the game. Like, it was fine. But the second one was a yellow card. Like, that was a clear yellow card, and it was 3 minutes into the game. But I do want to comment on the Virgil red card because I am in the belief that it's a red card for sure. And, like,
I agree.
The debate that it wasn't a red card, I think, goes into the Virgil aura defense because he's the last man. He literally goes through the back of Isak. He doesn't touch the ball. Like, Flan, you can say whatever you want, bro. What? He does not touch the ball. Like, literally.
He got the entire ball.
Dude,
after he swept his right foot.
No, I get that. But my thing is, if he didn't get any of the ball, it's like, boom, done, no big deal. But he got the ball right after he got the man.
But that logic doesn't make any sense, though. Like,
because he ran the other dude, or he swiped the other dude's foot. Like,
literally, that's the reason.
I don't think everyone being like, "Oh, that's it, it's done." It's like when you watch replay, he totally got the ball. That for me was the only thing. I get it. Like, it's one of those ones. If they give it, that's fine. If they don't, you can maybe see it. But
I'm team. They completely blew it. Newcastle, that is. Sven Botman directly assisted Darwin Nunez's first goal, and then his controller turned off on the second. So they definitely could have held on to that. Yeah, dude, great back heel directly into the path goal. They were good finishes. I'll give him credit there. But no, I think they completely blew it. I'm only saying this because I had their money line. I could not have cared less what this outcome would have really been. They blew it against 10 men at home after they've been pumping everybody at home. So credit to Liverpool to the sense of that, Darwin's fast or something, but they didn't give up any more goals. Miggy should have had like 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
That Allison
dude.
save though.
That was gross.
Allison balled. Allison balled. Hand up.
Yeah.
He balled. Yeah.
He's incredible.
I've been talking
He
mad shit on him, and I gave him props. Like, he had a
He's
great game.
incredible.
I've had to.
Can I
eat
say
some
one
words.
thing? It was so much fun to watch all the Newcastle fans run out the second Darwin scored the second. They panned the crowd. They couldn't get out quick enough, man. It was awesome. It was fun to watch, man.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, that concludes our weekend recap for the Prem, and we're going to go quickly into St. Louis City. And the reason why we're going to go quickly is because it's never fun to talk about a loss. And gentlemen, that's what we did against Orlando. We lost 2-1 in kind of a heartbreaking fashion. I think that it was a little bit soft. There were some big takeaways from this game, including the return of the most German Brazilian we know, João Klaus.
Yes.
Good to see him back. We saw a full debut, starting debut for Nilsson, who looked unbelievable throughout the game.
Yeah.
And Josh Yarrow continues to ball every single chance that he gets in defense. But I know that there was a mixed view of watching this game, but anything standing out to you, fellas? Is this one that we sweep under the rug and just get ready for Wednesday, or is there bigger things to take away?
The pen was soft. I think his arm wasn't in a crazy unnatural position. I also thought
no way, bro. How could he get his arm closer?
Bro, that's one of those things where I agree with you guys. But like that's just how they've been calling that shit like forever.
It was as close as it possibly could have been to tucked, in my opinion. I thought that was shit.
My issue with it is that, like, do you know how there's like the rule that came into effect last year, but now it's really being talked about? It's called like the bracing arm or whatever. It's like when guys slide out at the ball, if your hand is like on the ground to like brace your body and it hits your hand, it's not a pen. Like, that is a rule. I feel like this is the same thing where like guys sliding out, that hand is as close as you can have it to your body and it hits it. Like, if that was down instead of up, it wouldn't have been a pen. It just like, I don't know. I think that that's incredibly harsh. And, if that happens against us, maybe I'm arguing and saying that that's a pen every day of the week. But seeing that happen, it's like, if they're trying to bring in that whole, bracing arm thought, I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, Dobes. And I think at the end of the day, it is a pen. I just thought it was soft. And I hate the rule in and of itself. And I think kind of similar to what Hin's saying is like, what do you want him to do? He's trying to lay out for a ball to block it from going in. He's putting his arm as close as he possibly can. Obviously, it might come out a little bit. But I also, like, offensively, like, I wish we had more. Like, I know João Klaus didn't get full 90, but, like, sometimes I wish we had one or two more, like, players who can take people on and dribble and, like, add some creativity to our front three. But, I mean,
Nico going down in an injury was bad, too.
Yeah, true.
Losing him off the rip is tough, and then you've got Allman Thorson basically
trying to do what they can. And I don't think he's had a ton of consistency enough to really for us to know what he can do for that guy, for Thorson. I agree, Nick. I don't think there was just enough. I think we've seen again what it's like to play with Jake Nowinski as your right back. Like, not to put direct blame on him, but I just don't think he's up for it. I just don't think he's there. I think he got spun out on the first goal and just totally was a preventable shot. And Hebert is not a left back. We've known this and we've accepted this, and for the most part, it's been totally fine, with him being there. But we're coming up on the days where we're going to need some more consistent wing backs. That scares me because I think those are the two weakest parts of the field. And Jake got a red card. So, to be fair, I was cool with that red card. Like, it's the 96th minute. Take him down. Yeah. Take the red. Go home. Get in the showers. Not a big deal.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'll add is that we don't have a replacement for Blom. Like, we don't have anybody that can come in and do that 6 role as well as he can. And every single time that he's not in there, you can tell there's a hole. I think Akil did okay in that 6 role, but like, Blom is just everywhere. Like, he's everywhere. He cleans up all the balls. So he was just a massive miss.
Yeah, huge miss. Well, we have a big redemption game against Dallas on Wednesday. If you remember, that was the game that got paused because of the storm. Yeah, Dobes, you're literally reporting live from the scene right now at the high school game. Look at the view, fellas. Nothing better.
Not even allowed
outside the facility like a convict.
Yeah.
Get this man a cameraman.
Gents, we are going to move on to our next draft segment. Now, I will say it's lonely at the top. 2-0.
You picked an injured player.
The voters
has literally never played in the
voters
Prem. Literally
no
never
ball.
played a Prem minute.
The voters know ball, and apparently so do I. So
you have a lot of Instagram accounts, is what I think.
To set the stage of this one, we're actually doing a 3v3 team of retired players. So we're all going to choose a defender, a midfielder, and a forward that no longer play the game, and we're going to see whose 3v3 team stacks up the best. So, Nikki, what is the draft order that we're going with tonight?
I'm clicking generate.
And I have no
now,
notes, no
boys.
nothing. This is just off the ring.
As
We
it
have-
should be, fella.
Make excuses early.
All knowledge.
We have Nick, Winks, Griff,
Yeah.
Hoove, Dobes, Hen.
Yeah, bro. Let's get the turn.
All right, gents.
Now, do we
Um,
want to go in order of like we all pick a defender, we all pick a midfielder, we all pick a forward, or
No.
is it just like
No.
no, I like
No.
yeah, because
That's the strategy.
then you can pick the best defender and the best midfielder. So I don't like.
I sure
you
can,
know,
brother?
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Hen kind of said it, but we'll pick a midfielder, forward, and defender to try and completely round out a team. We talked about it before we started recording, but we all know that there are several players who could be considered midfield or forward. So those are fair game as well. Just let us know what position you're choosing to put them in, and then whenever we make the graphics afterwards, we can clearly outline who's playing what position on your team. But Hafey, if you want to,
I'm gassed.
yeah, this is
I know. I
sick.
think these teams are about to be sick.
Yeah, they're about to be good.
Yeah. But Hafey, if you want to start us off, who you got? 1.1.
I think this is one of the easier picks I've had in these drafts. I think it's taken me a long time to think about it, but with this one, I don't think there's really any question. I'm going Zidane.
Mikel Antonio.
Zidane.
That's a really good one. That was going to be my pick too.
Yeah.
I think that's
Wasn't even on my board.
yeah.
I already told him before you joined that Mikel Antonio wasn't an option here. But yeah, I like that a lot.
Hey, he did well. He scored this last weekend. So
Dude, he balled this last
I was
weekend.
gonna
Yeah.
say,
Man.
all knowledge.
Who's next?
All right, I'm gonna go. I feel like with him picking Zidane, any other answer but Pele here would be probably wrong. So I'm gonna take
Sure.
Pele.
Solid.
Second pick.
Not bad.
Yeah, if you think so.
Okay.
Griff, my man.
Tough pick. I got 3 written down here. I think I'm going to start off with Paolo Maldini as my defender. I don't want that taken.
Great.
So,
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah,
good.
that's really solid.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Is it me?
It is Mr.
Yeah.
Hoove.
I'm also sticking with defender because I did not want him to leave the board, but I'm going with the original 38-yard outside the foot free kick specialist. Give it to me.
Great pick.
Dude, that's
Nice.
also the greatest soccer call of all time.
All right, Dobes, who you want?
Oh, it's me?
I love this.
Oh,
The Dobes
mine's very easy. It's the guy that made me fall in love with the game, the best entertainer of all time, Ronaldinho. Put him in the midfield.
Yeah, I was gonna say, great pick.
Good
Great pick.
Nice.
Well done.
It was between him and Zidane for me.
Uh huh. Yeah.
At the 1.
Yeah.
All right, Hen, you have
Marcus Rashford.
Turn.
the turn. Yep.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford.
Wayne Rooney and
Dude, I actually wanted to go Wayne Rooney so badly.
You can probably get him on your third pick.
So I am going to go with Brazilian Ronaldo as my forward.
R9.
Love that.
And as my cam, Diego Maradona.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Ooh.
Those are good picks. Good picks.
Good takes.
All right, Dobes, you have Ronaldinho in your midfield, so you get a defender or a forward. Who do you want?
Mainly because I know that right after this, I think two guys are going to take him. I did. Rooney's up there for me, but I'm going Thierry Henry.
No.
So good.
Yeah,
So
man.
good.
Player.
I'm going Thierry. Well, I know he wasn't getting back to me with these two, so I had to take him.
No, I would have
Great
taken him.
pick. All right. Hoove, you got Roberto Carlos, so you got a midfielder and a forward. Who you want?
I've got issues here, boys. I don't know.
We got him too.
I don't know if I go striker here because there's other midfielders. There's a ton of good midfielders.
Wait, are you on the turn? No, never.
This is my second pick.
I was.
Fuck.
Fair.
Fuck it. Give me Xavi.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
He was high on my list.
He was.
I've got
he was
him.
if someone picked Zidane, he was on my list.
I was gonna say I actually had him under Zidane, so I'm good with that.
I like that a lot, man. Yeah. Shoo-wee. All right. Mr. Griff, you got your defender sorted.
Oh.
Midfielder, forward.
I'm gonna with Hoove. I'm going Iniesta.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fair.
Wait.
Does he count though? Because he's still playing.
Oh,
No. He is.
He is still playing.
We're gonna remove him. Sorry, we're gonna.
Oh.
Wow.
Wait, but doesn't he not have a team?
No, he's got a team.
No, he has a team.
No. He's playing a
But
guitar.
a free agent's okay, right?
Yeah. Huh?
Does that even count
free
as,
agent?
as real soccer?
Nothing.
He's not,
You can't-
he's not a free agent.
I'm just saying, free
he's-
agents are retired. We consider those retired, right?
No.
No, you're not taking Ramos. You're not taking
They'd be
Ramos.
re-
name.
Yeah.
They'd be retired
Yeah.
if they were retired.
Yeah.
That's why.
All right.
Get out of here.
All right. I'll go back to my home roots and I'll take in Patrick Vieira.
Nice.
Easy
Yeah.
enough.
He's way up
Didn't
there.
even make the list.
Yep. You said you didn't have a list earlier.
My list is this big green tree in front of the field.
All right. So Hoove had Xavi, Griff had Patrick Vieira. It's tough because I think there's a lot of guys that none of us ever got to actually watch play that we could take based, you know what I mean? But so part of me wants to go with that because of the names, but part of me wants to go off of, being able to watch certain guys.
Like in the last 20 years, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I saw a whole bunch of Puskas goals back in 1952.
57, bro.
57. They were sick.
Yeah, man. Oh, shoot. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to take Andre Pirlo in the midfield.
Yep.
great.
I was between him and Xavi.
That's a good one, though. I like that
No
one.
Pirlo, no party.
No Pirlo, no party.
That guy was the man.
Yeah, dude, just the Italian stallion. All right, Hafey, you got the 2-3 turn, yes sir, and you picked Zinedine in your midfield, so you have a forward and a defender. Words are hard today, by the way. Good lord.
Yeah, we've all
going Carlos Pollo.
You almost,
Nice.
you almost got it.
I like that.
Pollo.
No John Terry?
No. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Ooh, it's a good one.
newly retired Zlatan.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
100%. Good one.
It's a solid team, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Good luck winning a head ball.
Hey, you got some dogs.
Yeah, dude, this is tough.
Center back's the smallest guy on the field.
I
Isn't that
know,
wild?
and he's a dog.
All right, so we'll talk at the end about who picked who, but I have Pele and Pirlo. I wish I could have
P?
gotten Puyol because that would have rounded out the P's. But I'm thinking about going wing back as well here, kind of like what Hoove did. The same kind of idea here. I think I'm gonna go Philip Lahm.
I had him on my short list. If one of you guys took Roberto, I was going Philip Lahm.
I think I'm gonna go Lahm here. So he technically has a P. Yeah, man. I mean, the beautiful thing about there only being 6 of us and only picking one from each position is that there's still a lot of meat left on the table, and you can go a lot of different ways with it. So I'm gonna go Philip Lahm here. Mr. Griff, you've got a defender and midfielder who's up top.
The reigning Premier League all-time scorer Alan Shearer will do for up top. I'd say. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a strong squad.
Yeah. Nails. All right, fair. Mr. Hoover, you need a forward as well.
Is Wayne still on the books?
He is.
Yeah.
You
Talk
taking
about
Wayne?
Wayne Rooney? Yeah. I tell you what.
Rooney? Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Wayne. I'm with Dubs, and he was definitely one of the first guys that I was like, oh shit, this soccer shit is insane. Like he's a backsman. Like I definitely in my personal memory, one of the most fun players to watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fair.
Sold.
Fair. All right. Well, Dobes just left us. He back.
He's back.
I was going to say I wasn't leaving. Am I up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Hoove took Wayne Rooney up top
Okay.
on his team.
Okay.
So
Beautiful.
You need a defender anyways, so it's
We didn't
irrelevant.
even want him. We didn't want him.
Beautiful.
Didn't make his list.
The most decorated defender of all time. I'm sticking with the wingback, and I'm going Danny Alves. I'm going Danny Alves.
Dang, that's a great pick. That's who I was going to go.
Danny
If I
Alves.
didn't.
Who cares? He's in jail. Who cares? He's in prison. Doesn't matter. He was a
Prison
baller.
FC.
He's retired for sure.
You love
He's
you love
sure
Prison
retired.
FC,
Yeah.
and
Fuck.
he's the manager now. All right, well, good pick there, Hank. You need a defender too.
I do.
What are you thinking to round
there's
out
some
the
good
draft?
ones.
Plenty of good ones.
There's some really, really, really good ones.
Yeah, man.
It's tough because there's so many that I know of that didn't watch. Like we were saying, like Alves is the last one that I've actually watched that I was considering.
Yeah.
Beckenbauer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so of the names that are still on the list that are on my list, I have Beckenbauer, Vidic, Ferdinand, Cannavaro, Evra, Ashley Cole, Bobby Moore.
Yeah.
But who I'm actually going to go with is John Terry, and I'm so surprised that no one took him earlier.
A good pick.
One of the
Great
best captains in Premier League history, one of the most decorated players in Premier League history, part of the single lowest scored allowed season in history.
Great teammate.
I'm going John Terry. Yeah,
Great teammate.
I hear he's a great locker room guy.
So is R9 from what I know.
Yeah,
Had your kids, had your wives.
yeah, bro.
Good
fuck.
lord.
My team
I'm
is
surprised-
sick.
That's
yet
a good
again.
pick.
Didn't
I
take
love
Everton legend Leighton Baines. The streets will
Leighton
never forget.
Baines.
That
Yeah,
always makes
streets
me think of Shawno.
Yeah,
I know. Every time.
Yeah, I mean, outside of the defenders that Hen listed, you know, Paul Scholes was left on the board, David Beckham left on the board, Kaká, Johan Cruyff, Eusebio Puskas,
Lampard, Gerrard.
Gerrard, all
Yeah.
so many good guys. So I think that, you know, we could have gone a lot of different ways, but there's genuinely not one team on here that, you know, in the last 2 drafts we've done, there's been 1 or 2 teams where I'm just like, have you ever watched a soccer game before?
Yeah.
Like all of these, I feel like
Especially our team.
This is way more like personal like preference
For sure.
on like damn, I loved those guys, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go through real quick, and then for anybody listening, we'll share it on social media. Have you guys vote between the 2 groups over the course of 2 days, and then on the 3rd day, will do the championship between the top two from the groups. But Hafey had the first pick, and then the turn on the 2-3, he had Zinedine Zidane in the midfield, Carlos Puyol at defense, and then the god Zlatan Ibrahimovic as his forward. I had Pele up top, Pirlo in the midfield, and Philip Lahm in the back. Mr. Griff had Maldini.
Pirlo in the middle?
Yes.
Okay.
Where else would he play?
Pirlo.
No, I just didn't know who your midfield was.
Between the sticks, baby. Between the sticks.
Most important position.
Yep.
I was asking you picks.
And then Griff had Maldini at the back. Great pick. Patrick Vieira in the midfield. Another great pick. And then, as he said, the Premier League's all-time leading goal scorer at the moment, Alan Shearer up top. Solid squad as well.
Dogs, bro. Absolute dogs.
Yeah. Beast. Hoove going strong with Roberto Carlos as his first pick. Xavi in the middle and Wayne Rooney up top.
Such intricate play on that team. That team is tiki-taka, bro.
So many socioeconomic pasts as well.
Diverse.
Very diverse. Love that. Dobes from the parking lot selected Ronaldinho in the midfield, Thierry Henry from the Invincibles up top, and then the most decorated.
Were
player
they
of all
all
time,
teammates? Yeah? Were they all?
No, Messi passed
Were
him.
they all there at one time at Barca?
Wait, who is your defender?
Danny Alves. He
Alves.
was there too,
Alves.
yeah?
I just don't know if they
Wait,
overlapped.
So.
I don't know if they
I can't
overlapped.
remember if Danny Alves was there or not.
I'm more thinking of if Alves or if Ronaldinho played with Henry.
Yeah, he did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was Eto'o, Henry, and
Dude, I had Eto'o on my list too. That guy was a
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
dude, I had Aguero on my list, and I thought about taking him because he was a dog. And, dude, I think give it like 5 more years, and people are going to be like really talking about him.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think it's safe to say Dobes' team will have the best chemistry
Facts.
of all having played together. So well done there, either intentionally or unintentionally. And then our 6th pick, Mr. Hen, went with Brazilian R9 up top, Diego Maradona in the midfield, and John Terry in the back.
John Terry may lose you that one. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
really, dude, I don't know.
I don't even know if it's
Like that
based on
picture
merit.
where like strong up top and then like strong middle, then like the legs are really skinny. That's what the picture.
I mean, and there's always going to be a couple people voting, and I'm sure there's a couple here and there that just vote on which team like looks the best. And John Terry is not going to make your team look any better just from a picture.
I'm going to create the graphic of him on the ground after he slip missing the PK.
Yeah, there it is.
just some like collusion.
Yeah.
Well, Lucas alluded to it earlier. Those polls will be up on our social media over the next couple of days. We'll see who gets the points yet again. We'll see if I can make it 3-0 to go 3 weeks in a row. And we do have some pretty funny things being thrown out right now for the loser of these drafts. But once we agree in the group, we'll bring it to you all on the pod. But that concludes it for us this week, gentlemen. Another great episode, another great week. Follow us on all of our socials. Make sure you're checking the Twitter, the TikTok, and all of your streaming platforms. And without further ado, gentlemen, cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, lads.
Hey, Doe, big shout out. Great live reporting.
Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, it does.